Well, firstly, I want to thank the APS and Christine for organizing. Herman, I see you there. Happy birthday as well from me. Fantastic to see everyone here, and my sense from listening, it's been awesome. You know, just to hear about the journey which started so long ago and has come to fruition, and see and hear from everyone who participated. I just want to say it's utterly inspiring. And SESAME has always inspired the African light source. And I'm just so pleased this is recording, and we'll all be able to listen again and share again the awesome presentations and memories. Thank you very, very much for organizing this. I want to point out I do have a presentation, but I'm not going to show it. I'm just going to speak briefly. And should you want to follow up more on anything that I have mentioned, then you're welcome to look at that presentation. So with that, I want to, hello?
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. We will, you wanted to conclude, correct?
Yes, I just wanted to say a few words about the African light source. I wanted to point out it has very deep roots, and they mainly in Egypt and South Africa, starting to use synchrotrons a long, long time ago in the 90s. And then we have Sekazi enter the scene, placing an African light source in writing in the founding documents of the African Laser Center, a call for it. And we have a global conversation. It's in Africa and it's around the world, and it's about the African light source. And that was formalized with the process I really want to emphasize, respected Ubuntu. Ubuntu is an African word in many, many languages on our continent, and it's not translatable into a single English word, but it means common humanity, and that you do things in a democratic, caring way, and so on. And that's what we have tried to have all the time with the African light source, because I can tell you there are many tens of organizations operating in the space for an African light source, and we want them all to feel they are welcome and can keep their brand and can push towards the same vision. And the African light source is a kind of a unifying umbrella that allows them all a stage, and also ourselves a stage, and we operate this roadmap. So there are conferences that we organize, and the 5th one is coming up in 2022. So I invite you to look for the website. And I mentioned our roadmap, and I just want to say it sounds very much like SESAME. There's many bottom-up activities which are about human capacity building and local and regional infrastructure building, and just the sense of community and the user base. And there I want to say very inspiring from SESAME how they have built a community. But we also have top-down. One of the top-downs will recognize Sekazi leading our conceptual design report quite well advanced, and then involving the African Union and African governments. But then within Africa, there are very, very many Pan-African professional bodies, voluntary associations by discipline, Pan-African, and then national versions of those, and can draw your attention to the multitude who we are working with. And I heard from Andrea also about the MOU between AfLS and SESAME, and this is very, very important, and we are engaged in activities that should build in accordance with that MOU, that we do work together. And we have written a lot. So because there's not time, one of the pages of that talk, in actual fact, it has links to our many, many writings. I think one of the last things to say is people often mention that you should have this number of 300 active users, and then you can think about in that region, you can think about a light source. And I want to say Africa long since passed that number. There are so many African users of synchrotrons, African users with the capacity to do it, even soon to transition to do it. We also count as African all the diaspora. And it often happens because we don't yet have a synchrotron is we lose the people we train to the diaspora. So let me just say we feel that Africa is really going with great momentum towards the synchrotrons, really catching on amongst governments and many kinds of role players, stakeholders. And we know we have many friends around the world. We take again great inspiration from SESAME. So thank you very much, folks, for this opportunity to say those few words. And Herman, thanks for making this happen by virtue of your birthday.
Thank you very much, Simon. And indeed, as you mentioned, so the presentation that you send is on the wall of ideas, so everyone can have access to it. And as well, one of the comments that I should have mentioned for as well the case of Professor Lara Sayer and for Simon Connell, so they both will be invited to give a presentation for the physics matter. So for Professor Sayer in August, end of August, 22nd of August, and for Professor Connell, so in September. So if you want to know more about the situation of Turkey, including as well the industrialization somehow, and how it will be as well for the case of the African light source, so you're more than welcome to register to our event. So thank you very much for those presentations. And now we come to the discussion flow. So of course we are not exactly on time, but I think it's really good that we have a catch up and have put all the different seeds of those different topics of interest that we want to share now. So again, on the wall, you will see and find a lot of memories as well by the different person here. And we have also from Professor Schopper, so the nice, very nice interview or presentation that he gave last year at the CERN alumni, so very professional and very informative about as well the SESAME and the role as well that it had as well in the history as well of CERN, I would say. And we can also see nice pictures, so I don't have the exact explanation of what they mean, so potentially, so we will need a bit more explanation by Professor Rabinovitchi.